lot of good advice here, especially about single moms. I kind of jumped the gun a little bit at one of the previous red flags reviews and kind of talked about single moms as you know, you don't want to have other men in your life, and dating a single mom not only invites, men from her past into your life, but it keeps them in there kind of forever unless they die. And so um I've thought about my own situation a lot because I'm married to one before. And I kind of thought, like, is it really possible to build a successful family of your own if what you're doing is joining someone else's dysfunctional family? You know what I mean? Because her kids don't go away. They're separate grandparents, the extended family, and the whole thing. And it's just such a handicap to start out with in life, which will inevitably throw so much at you, and as it did at me, that why do that? Is just bad luck. It
I've,
totally
I've
wasn't worth it.
I've seen successful examples. Like I know some very high net worth men that are great entrepreneurs. They're good men. They're good at being men, and they made that decision at some point in their life to invite a chick with some kids into his life, into his house, and everything. And they pull it off, and it runs, but there's always problems. And a lot of these problems that they face, like I said earlier, would not exist had they made a different choice, right? Like all of these red flags that we're going through in this series is basically about improving the selection process so that you as a guy can have a better experience as you navigate life and deal with women and make money and hang out with your boys and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, you can do all of these, like you can ignore all of these red flags. You can invite a Chinese communist parade of red flags into your life, everything plus more, and you can have a relationship with it, but you're going to have a much more difficult time than if you avoid them. This is about removing complexity. This is about improving the selection process. You can do all of these bad things, have fun at it if you want. I bless and release you, but you're better off and you'll have fewer problems in your life without them. It's just facts. That's it.
That's correct. That's correct. One of the things I actually geek out on is true crime. So I watch a bunch of channels related to that. And one of the stories that I just recently came across was about a guy who ended up being in prison because some kid, some teenage girl, got caught watching porn by someone. And as a way to make excuses or to get out of the situation or whatever, she named this man as the guy who showed her pornography. Okay.
Mhm.
And this guy was either a friend or maybe dated her mom briefly or whatever. By the time when this happened, he has left, he lived in a different state. Okay. And she just went ahead and said that, and he had no idea. But the police were certainly interested in it, the FBI or whoever.
Mm.
So he gets arrested, and based just on the words of that girl, he gets put in prison. You know what I mean? Gets
Yeah,
put through the whole freaking thing.
this is just
five
one story
years.
of hundreds of thousands out there that all end in a similar way that you can avoid again if you just don't like take a woman that's got kids seriously. Date her, maybe have fun with her. That's it. But the minute she's like, "Hey, Billy and Bobby, 7 and 10, you see me texting and they're really interested in who you are. You want to come over and meet them," sort of thing. Don't ever be that guy that's like, "Okay, that sounds like fun."
Yeah,
Just
I
don't.
would highly recommend not putting yourself or anyone really in a
No, it's not worth
situation
it.
where you're around other people's kids. Because I will briefly share my own
It's not worth it.
story. Yeah, my own
All
stories.
right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one on one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.